Shalom, and welcome to our Inspiration in Your Inbox 5774 video series for the 3 weeks. On behalf of the YU Torah Mitzion Kolo, I'm delighted to welcome you, and I express our Hakaras Hatov and thanks to Rabbi Yoni Fox and Rabbi Yosef Berman. Today is Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, the 17th day of Tammuz, and the Talmud teaches us in Meshech Tanis 26a, B'Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, on the 17th day of Tammuz, Nishtabru Haluchos, the tablets were broken. We can look at this in one of two ways. On the one hand, we could say this is a historical event that we commemorate on this day of fasting, which it is. On the other hand, we could see it as something much larger. We could see it in a greater context. And perhaps that will have greater relevance and greater meaning for us. For we could suggest that this breaking of the tablets, the Shviras Haluchos, is not just a historical event, but it's something that is part of a much bigger experience, the experience of Golus, of exile. And that is the focus of the mourning and the sadness of these 3 weeks, of the historical suffering and the ongoing difficult period of exile that we still experience today. We can suggest that the breaking of the tablets, although yes, it certainly was a historical event, we could suggest that it is also part and parcel of the experience of Golus, of exile. This concept of the breaking of the Torah being an expression of exile appears in the writings of the great Rabbi Meir Simcha HaKohen of Dvinsk, the author of the Or Sameach and the commentary on the Torah known as the Meshech. Says the Meshech in Parshas B'chukosai that part of the curse of the exile is the diminishing of the Torah. Back in the good old days, so to speak, when we had a Beis Hamikdash and you had a high court of a Sanhedrin, Torah was in its full glory. Says Rabbi Meir Simcha, but with the dispersion of the Jewish people, the Torah itself is diminished. It doesn't have the same capacity and quality that it used to have, where rabbis would come together in a central place in the Beis Hamikdash and be able to not just study, but also enact and create halachic understandings, which we don't have the authority and the ability to share today. One thing for us to think about over the course of the next 3 weeks is our relationship with Torah and how that can grow. And perhaps there can be some kind of symbiotic relationship here. That on the one hand, yes, historically, we have been placed in a period of exile and we have broken tablets. But perhaps it's for us to consider, how do we put those tablets back together? How through our increased Torah study, our focus on Torah study during this time, we can elevate ourselves and bring greater shalom, shleimut, completeness. Shleimut, says the Talmud, comes from the study of Torah. Hashem oz le'amo yitain, Hashem yivarech samo v'shalom. We look for peace for the Jewish people and for all of us through the mending of the break in the tablets, through our Torah study, through our peace that comes to bringing everything back to the complete whole, to the tablets as they were before they were broken on the 17th of Tammuz.